Hey, excuse me for being the deep state baby. I hope that you're having great days. As you can see, my color is a little off. This happens periodically, just the way it is. Uh, it's okay. Doesn't hurt right now, so just looks a little funny. Ready for war. Yeah, ready for war, right? So, 3 weeks of no school declared in New Hampshire. The crown virus. Corona is crown. And Clovid, or whatever the, find it real quick. Ovid is derived from the Latin Ovidius, itself derived from the Latin word ovis, which means sheep. COVID-19. See sheep. Definition of ovis. Remember, this is the Ovid. A genus of bovidae, bovine, consisting of the domestic sheep and the majority of the wild sheep, most of which inhabit the mountainous regions from West North America to Western Asia, and have horns that form a lateral spiral. See Argali, Argali. Interesting, huh? Yeah. It's unfortunate when you predict stuff like this is what's going to happen, and then when it happens, it's like people are like, what? You happy about it? You happy about it? I mean, the Q people or the people that think they're Q people, and you know, governments and other idiots would be like, how can he know the future? Maybe he's creating it, working with some extraterrestrial hot chicks, the same ones that are our alien overlords that he reproduces with. And oh yes, we reproduce. We have so many of us now. It's just amazing. But see, in order, I'm a deep state baby, right? So that is alluding to the replacement of the deep state, the fixtures, the Illuminati, the people who needed to be replaced. They just been here too long. They stopped looking after their people. So we're here. So rumor has it that during these next few weeks there's going to be a lot of arrests finally. These arrests, they have to happen this week, in the next few weeks. And a lot of personal security guards are going to end up dying because they won't know that whatever they knew and didn't report or whatever isn't important. If we could get a memo to all the private security in the world and say, if we come for your bosses, we being the Illuminati, the military, the government, in the next few weeks, few months, and we have badges and stuff. Then just stand aside. Let us do our thing. And if you hear us coming, maybe you could do us a favor and just subdue whoever you're supposedly protecting, because really they might kill themselves or try to be their own bodyguard and attack. So we can't be having that. So yeah, unfortunately, viruses are a funny thing. Like, if you don't know me, if you know me, then you know that my skin, looking like this is normal for me. Normal enough, routine, regular, predictable, not scheduled, but regular. But in the cities where there's already bad energies, bad frequencies, energy is frequency, as you know. There's going to be a lot of... It's likely that... I heard 4 to 8 cities are already infested, fairly infested, with the coronavirus, to the point that it's going to have to... They're going to have to be, like, cordoned off, like that movie District 19, I think, where nobody can leave, but the supplies are sent in, some supplies. That's awfully complicated. So we can't afford to lose more than 5 cities in America. New York City, we can afford to lose. St. Louis, we can afford to lose. I can't think of the other ones that are just so evilly detrimental to everyone that everyone knows that we're better off without them. But this virus will be attracted to evil. It's interesting that there was a movie that I'm actually watching now, and the idea was that Mother Nature was fighting back. The humans had, needed more room for more human stuff. And the forest spirits were like, no, we're going to vex you with this horrible virus. And, the push and the pull. Then I think how gentle Mother Nature truly is. The ocean could easily bitch slap an entire continent into the ocean, essentially, without an explanation needed. Yet it does not happen. This is the great, with great strength comes great responsibility. And we're talking about the greatest powers beyond mankind's comprehension. You could say all humanity has ever conceived of, as far as awesome divine power and wrath, multiply that by 10, whatever, and that's close to what I know there to be. And I think you all know this too. The ocean is mighty powerful. In full disclosure, I am not human. I am royal bloodline. I am deep state baby because I'm the culmination of all the deep stateness. Um, in 1998, I met Valiant Thor. The Valiant Thor aspect of this story is very personal to me. The John Trump time traveler guy is turning out to be very important. John George Trump. My grandfather was Dr. John George. His son was John George. I'm Jonathan George because they didn't want me to be John George III. I'm going to test the YouTube censors here. I don't believe that Donald Trump exists. I believe that a lot of what we see in our own lives, other people don't see. I'm going to go further and say that there's a store locally. I'd been there a year ago. Why did I choose that store? I don't know. That's the good question. It's a great question. Maybe I had some friends online who were talking about the store, and they were local guys. I waited for one of these guys to come over and hang out for like an hour. I stood outside like a fool waiting for a friend who never showed up, ever. And he said he couldn't make it. And I remember it was thunder and lightning while I was waiting outside. It was a very different world back then. It was only 3 years ago, maybe. But he had mentioned he had a friend, and I, knew these guys from like a gun group. So there's this store, and I went to the store a year ago, and it wasn't there. And I was like, what? How can this store not be where it says it is? And I mentioned it to a friend, and he was like, oh, timelines, different timelines. But I went there again yesterday. I double-checked the address, I triple-checked it, I quadruple-checked it. And it's really quite impressive because, I know, I say I'm AI, and I say, well, how else could I know so much? You can say I'm divine, or you can say I'm AI. It doesn't matter at the moment to me what you say about that. But when I met Valiant Thor, it was Neuralink the Neuralink scar that we were looking at on the side of the head. It was a very strange time. My credibility is very important to me. I can tell you he was struggling pretty badly then. He was going to jump off a bridge. I chased him as fast as I could to try to prevent it. I tried hitchhiking. It was snowing. But he had a problem with his girlfriend. I didn't even know where his girlfriend lived, and suddenly he broke a window by banging on the glass and took the glass and cut himself and then ran to jump off the bridge. And I was like, what in the is this? And I ran so hard to get him to go catch up with him. But then it turned out that I'm Valiant Thor. I had a problem. She wouldn't get out of my way. She wouldn't let me leave the house. Being held against your will when you've had certain life experiences, or in general, and being, screamed at, is not something you want to endure. That will never happen again, because that still prevents me from holding a cup of coffee. And then, soon after, within a year, jumping off the bridge, swimming across the ocean to a loved one. These were very And she's a time traveler. She's with me. She's been with me since I was Tesla. She's been with me since the beginning. We created this world. We're responsible for it. We're going to stick around. Right? So, 2008 was the last time Valiant Thor was seen. 2008 was when the UFO in Exeter, New Hampshire, picked me up for an unknown amount of time and moved my feet. I didn't land where I began. And then they had that's enough info about that. But that was Exeter, New Hampshire, half a mile from Phillips Exeter Academy on Front Street. Someday, maybe at least for one video, I'll take you guys on a tour of everywhere I've had supernatural encounters that I remember, and where I was when I took certain photographs that are very well known now. But for now, I'm bringing the info to you as best I can, and I'm extremely tired. I used to have so much energy for this fight, to fight the deep state, to fight. And then I realized, yeah, I am the deep state, because I'm going to be like the King of England. But watch the Above Majestic documentary. If you haven't done that yet, you should. And I want everyone to make sure they have a good pistol. If you got you're in a relationship, you should both have a pistol inside the house and one that you keep in the vehicle. And in a safe, you should have a couple of real rifles and 5.56 or 300 Blackout or 6.8 SPC. Or a 308. I do prefer a semi-auto. And before the rationing starts, just start eating a little bit less, And if you're like me and you don't eat that much, but you still like heavy, it's probably because you eat at night. So try getting to bed earlier. And even though I'm not hungry, I still had I had some egg salad today, and it's really good. A little bit of salt in it, and onions and pickles, protein. It's pretty good. So just keep the faith, in yourselves and in the people you love for a foundation. And if you can do that easily, then add the people that work for the town and the people, your neighbors, and include as many people in the I have faith in these people as you can. All right. Oh, and remember the Illuminati language of opposites. So whatever I say, if I'm speaking in that language, is a lie. So if I said, in the Illuminati language, I say to you, I am not Q, then you know that I'm lying to you. Alright, so deep state, baby. Signing off for now. Talk soon. Ask me questions, you lazy slackers, and share, subscribe, promote the speaking deep state, baby.